Hi friends, welcome to Crack Grade B. We are back with yet another very important lecture for your upcoming exam, that is NABARD Grade A. So I hope you are preparing well for your examination, and also you are following our YouTube channel where we are bringing out to you the some of the most important MCQ from different ministries, as well as the topics on ESI, the topics on ARD. We are covering MCQs, right? So let's begin with the government schemes of Ministry of Rural Development. So not all these schemes are covered. Okay, so this would not be one of the exclusive lecture where we have covered everything about the schemes of rural development. But yes, this is certainly handpicked questions where we think that these are discussed in the current affairs in the recent times, and some question on current affairs and some on the static part we are covering it, right? What can be asked. So these are some of the flagship scheme of rural development ministry. So let's begin with question number one. When will the unique land parcel identification number ULPIN scheme, okay, which was launched in 10 states and will roll out across the country, okay, so it's not written across the country, right? So March 23, 22, 25, 24, or none of the above. Look, these are very close options, and to answer this, so this is again, this was discussed in the current affairs but not very recently. This will go beyond 6 months. But since this is a government scheme and this is related to Ministry of Rural Development, right? And you have a section called ARD in the phase two. So this becomes very, very important, right? So you can expect question of maybe 8 to 9 months back and maybe some 10 months, because not many thing comes from particular one ministry. But current affairs as a whole has many things, right? But if you see rural development, we don't find much current affair, right? So we have to go beyond 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, and we bring out to you the most important question. So I hope you will pause the video, or you have already paused it, and let's see the answer now. So the answer is March 2022. Okay. So by March 2022, the scheme will be rolled out throughout the nation, and initially it was launched in 10 states, right? So the unique land parcel identification number scheme has been launched in 10 states and will be rolled out across the country by March 2022. Okay. Under the scheme, a 14 digit, most important thing to remember, 14 digit identification number will be issued to every plot of the land in the country. Right? Now, not now every, these things are not important. What is important is, initially, it was launched in 10 states, right? Across the nation, it will be rolled out in March 2022, and it has 14-digit identification number. And why this is launched? Since you have a descriptive paper, let me tell you the most uh, uh, important thing, if we can say, this has been launched only to curb the shabby deals, right? Or shadow deals, we can say. What are shadow deals? Like, say, I have a land, right? So I can sell it on cash. So yeah, on rules, if you say there are certain things, a certain amount that I will have to pay using check, right? And rest I can pay with the cash. So government will never know the actual sales amount, right? But using this identification number, the entire thing is going to become like, for example, like my Aadhaar card number and your Aadhaar card number will never match. So we are certainly two different persons. Got it? So when a piece of land gets a 14-digit identification number, this means that it comes into the record. So let's move forward with question number two. Identify the incorrect statement regarding Manrega. It is a scheme introduced as a social measure that guarantees the right to work. It provides only 100 days of unskilled manual work as guaranteed employment in rural India to enhance their quality of life. A social audit of Manrega work is mandatory. At least one-third beneficiary shall be women at a 60-40 wage, and material ration has to be maintained. Now, look, this is very, very important, and you should be able to answer this. I will tell you the reason. So, this scheme or this act is there from 2005. So when most of you and most of us were in schools, then this scheme was launched. So by the time we thought of preparing for an exam like RBI, SEBI and NABARD, this should be something that we have already learned, revised multiple times, right? So I hope you know this answer. So purposely the question is made, to judge your retaining capacity so that you can judge that how well you can retain things. It has a, again, I am reminding you why this small detail is important, because you have a descriptive paper, right? So in description, when you know things in detail, your answers automatically becomes beautiful. Okay, so answer writing is an art. It's not about knowledge, it's an art. So let's move forward with the answer. The answer is it provides only 100 days of unskilled manual work as guaranteed employment in rural India to enhance their quality of life. Look at the word only. Only is not correct. Rest everything is correct. This is incorrect. It provides at least 100 days of unskilled manual work, right? At least 100 दिन के लिए वो काम देगा. This is what the act guarantees. That's it, right? Out of 365 days, 100 days. So let us see the description. So, Manrega Act 2005 aims at enhancing the livelihood security of people in the rural by guaranteeing 100 days of wage employment in a financial year. एक साल में, एक financial year में from 31st financial year starts on 1st of April of every year and ends on 31st of March next year, right? So it guarantees 100 days of employment. So let's move forward. The central government bears the full cost of unskilled labor. 75 of the cost of the material, rest is borne by the state. ठीक है, 100 रुपए खर्चा हुआ, and these are mostly capital building assets, right? So 100 रुपए खर्चा हुआ तो 75 material पे 100 रुपए हुआ तो 75 is the central government who is going to give, and rest 25% is on the state government. So look at this line. This is also important. Beside the mandatory 100 days, there is a provision for additional 50 days of unskilled wage employment in a financial year in drought, natural calamity notified rural areas. So who notifies it? The Union government. As per Section 3(4) of Manrega Act 2005, the state government may make provision for providing additional. So, as per this section, a state government can provide additional days of work beyond 150 days, 100 plus 50 plus additional. Okay, but the condition is the rest of the amount would be, so whatever the extra amount of work or extra amount of days the state government creates, the fund is something that they are going to arrange. The central government is not going to give any extra fund beyond 150 days, right? So it's a demand driven social security labor law that aims to enforce the right to work. It's like a fundamental principle, right? Right to work. So MRD, Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, association with the state government, monitors the implementation of this scheme, right? Let's see question number 3. Identify the correct statement regarding Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. Construction of 3.95 crore houses with all basic amenities by the year 22. See, only this amount changes. 2.95. Okay, very sorry, it's all 3.95. So here consider it as 4.95. Here consider it as 5.95. So I hope you know this answer. Pause the video, try to figure out what is the correct answer. Okay, let's move forward with the answer. The answer is construction of 2.95 crore houses with all basic amenities by the year 2022. Right? Let's see the description. So, construction of 2.95 crore houses with all basic amenities by the year 2022. The scheme originally was meant to cover people in EWS, annual income not exceeding rupees 3 lakh, and LIG, low income group. Okay, EWS is economically weaker section, LIG is low income group, annual income not exceeding rupees 6 lakh sections. But now covers the mid income group MIG as well. It was launched for providing housing for all by 2022. So if you know this punchline, then the answer was very easy, right? Housing for all by 2022, and when it was launched, 2016, during the first stint of this new government, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right? Okay, so we are still here. Okay, The list will be presented to Gram Sabha. So it is participatory. Okay. How is that? So the beneficiaries is being identified at the Gram Sabha level. So yes, through the census data, through the different channels of data, maybe the district collector has every data of his own district, right? But it is for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, it is the Gram Sabha who is going to identify the actual beneficiaries, right? So each beneficiary is given 100% grant of rupees 1.2 lakh in plain areas and 1.3 lakh in hilly, northeastern and difficult region. What is the uh, cost sharing? It's 60-40 between center and the state. Okay. The beneficiaries have provided support of unskilled labor wages for 95% days under Manrega. So see, Manrega is connected. So when you read schemes of rural development, most of the schemes you will find is interconnected, right? Because it is for the upliftment of the uh, people living in the rural India. So every scheme is interconnected for their benefit. So maybe one scheme is for housing like this one, the other one would be for employment, the third one would be for like Pradhan Mantri uh, uh, Garib Kalyan Yojana, where they're getting different things, right? So again, through ration card, they will be getting food through National Food Security Act. So so for overall development, this ministry is working day and night of the rural India, right? So Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, everything is connected. So let's move to question number 4. Mahila Kishan Sashakticaran Pariyojana is, pardon my mistake, is a sub scheme under which of the following scheme? So ये नीचे दिए हुए कौन से स्कीम का सब स्कीम है? महिला किसान सशक्तिकरण परियोजना, आजीविका स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम, डे एनआरएलएम, ग्राम पंचायत डेवलपमेंट प्लान्स, विलेज पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन प्लान, स्टार्टअप विलेज एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप प्रोग्राम. Which one is? Okay. So it's Day NRLM, दीन दयाल अंत्योदया योजना, नेशनल रूरल लाइवलीहुड मिशन. तो ये जो स्कीम है ना, if you have read about this scheme, so half of the scheme of rural development ministry is covered. And let me give you a straight away uh, logic, right? So I must say that now, since we have not much time for your phase 1 phase 2 examination, do prepare about the NRLM from Rural Development Ministry. So if you have done this, so I can guarantee, I can bet that when you write descriptive, you will have much and many things to write about rural India. So it's a very, very vast scheme. There are many sub scheme under the NRLM. Okay. So let's move forward with very few details. I'm telling you very few details. So what is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission? To reduce poverty by enabling poor households to access gainful self-employment and skill-based employment opportunities, to mobilize 10 to 12 crore rural households into self-help group in a time-bound manner by 2024-25. It is a centrally sponsored program that promotes multiple livelihood for the rural poor household across the country. Okay, it is implemented by special purpose vehicle. Then Mahila Kishan Sashakticaran Pariyojana (MKSP) promotes scaling up successful small scale project that enhances women participation and productivity in agriculture and allied service. Okay, so basically this is a capacity building program, right? Then also aims to ensure household food nutrition security for the poor and the poorest of the people. Okay, got it? So so let's move to question number 5. PM Garib Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyan initially launched in June 2020 for a period of 125 days in 116 district of how many states? Okay, so from how many states? So very in depth. See, I am very sure that we have practiced easy questions from multiple source from the Crack Grade B platform, and now through this video series, the questions are a bit different. Okay, so maybe some of you may think that this type of question doesn't come, but you never know. We are not the question paper setter, so we can never judge what they think. Okay, So, and the nature of examination and the nature of competition is changing day by day or exam by exam. Okay. So we will have to prepare it. So since this question, since you have also descriptive, so we are framing question with some few data points which you, if you know, that will really help in your descriptive paper, right? So that's the main point of view. For example, in which state or how many state it was launched, right? So the answer is in 6 states. Okay. So let's move forward and let us see. To provide livelihood employment to returnee, migrant, and similarly effective citizen in rural area, right? So since it is launched in only 6 states, we can assume that this 6 state has the most of the returnee, migrant returnee, है ना? ये महाराष्ट्र को क्यों लॉन्च नहीं हुआ? I mean, why did Maharashtra is not in this list? Because most of the people in the Maharashtra are from these states. So it's for the returnee migrant. तो देखो ये लॉजिक बिल्ड हो गया. What if I don't know how many states or what are those states? So I can never build that logic, right? But when I know these things, कि जब ये launch हुआ, it was for 6 states. कौन से वो 6 states? बिहार, यूपी, एमपी, राजस्थान, झारखंड and Odisha. This does means that these states had majority of the returnee. इसलिए इनमें launch हुआ है. और उनमें 116 districts, right? So that is how you have to build the logic. And when you build the logic, things becomes much easy. You remember the things for a longer period of time, right? So अभी देखो, बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट मीन्स बहुत सारे जो मिनिस्ट्री है, देयर आर मेनी मिनिस्ट्री हु आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग in this. So PM Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, right? So let's move forward. See, we haven't placed the other details, right? So we already know that you know these things, but what you have missed or maybe chances of getting missed, we have put here. So let's move forward with the question number 6. Niranchal National Watershed Project is a dash assisted project. Means who is assisting this project? Okay, watershed project. Asian Development Bank, World Economic Forum, ब्रिक्स बैंक, वर्ल्ड बैंक, इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड. इसका मतलब कोई इंटर गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही है जो उसका असिस्ट कर रहा है. हु इज दिस, राइट? सो द आंसर इज वर्ल्ड बैंक और IBRD to be specific, right? So what is the answer? Description: to further extension and provide technical assistance to the watershed component of PMKSY. ओके, वाटरशेड कंपोनेंट है, उस पे असिस्ट करने के लिए ये जो स्कीम है वो वर्ल्ड बैंक असिस्ट कर रहा है, राइट? सो दिस स्कीम वाज लॉन्च्ड so that it can provide technical assistance to the watershed component of PMKSY. Okay, what is PMKSY? प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना. ठीक है, अभी इस पे देयर आर टू कंपोनेंट, हर खेत को पानी, पर ड्रॉप मोर क्रॉप, and you know watershed management is something technical. So to reduce this technicality or to make things easy there, this scheme was launched, and this scheme is being assisted by the World Bank. Okay, so who is project implementing agency? Is Department of Land Resource, Ministry of Rural Development. Let's move forward with question number 7. What is the amount allocated for Manrega for the financial year 2021-22? Okay, so this is something that you know from the union budget, right? So just pause the video, try to figure out the answer, and I'm very sure that you know this. Let's move forward with the answer. That's 73,000 crore, right? But what was the previous allocation? Is it increased from the last year or is it decreased from the last year? What are the other details that we should know while we write descriptive paper? Let's look at that. The government allocated rupees 73,000 crore for Manrega for 2021-22, an increase of 11,500 crore as compared to financial year 2021, right? So more than 25 lakh assets has been created in the current financial year so far. So this news is from the 27th July 2021. So see, it's March, April, May, June, July. Within this 4.5 month or 27, so you can consider it the full month, 25 lakh asset has already been created, right? So many more to go. So with this, we have come to the end of this lecture. Before I say goodbye, I would like to remind you to visit the website and look up on our course for NABARD Grade A and Grade B. Right. So this is one of the most economical and best course available in the country. Why I say the best course? Uh, we would not say, rather we would ask you to go ahead and check by yourself by downloading the app from Google Play Store and going to our YouTube channel. You can find some uh, reviews of the students who are working on the respective organization and they have given the review of our course in a video. So you can watch them and make a fair decision. With this, thank you and happy learning. Let's meet in the other lecture.